So, data. Y'all having FOMO about it yet? Well, because it seems like everyone's talking about tech careers these days, right? So it's almost like, should you do it? Is it worth it? I'm not going to try and answer those questions for you, no, but I do want to provide an honest breakdown as to whether or not data analytics is the right fit for you, including how it gave my salary a boost of over 70% just by taking a data analytics course. But before I get into all of that, what even is data analytics? How does it compare to data science? I'm sure you've heard both terms being floated around, right? So let me break it down just so it makes sense. Think of it this way. If you're a data analyst, you're more like a detective. So you're using existing data to figure out trends, patterns, answers. For example, you may be asked to analyze sales data to figure out which products are performing best and why. On the other hand, if you're a data scientist, you're more like an engineer. So you're building models and predicting future outcomes. For example, you may be asked to build a model that can predict future sales. So both of them are valuable, but I feel like they serve different purposes. So where do you fit in? And why the hype over data in the first place? Well, because it's becoming a game changer in literally almost every industry: tech, finance, fashion, healthcare, even oil and gas. The other day, a friend of mine was like, Archie, aren't you in Port Harcourt? Don't you have a data analytics certificate? Can't you find a way to marry both? More on that later. How did I even get into this space to start with? Growing up, I was always interested in analysis and problem solving. I actually thought I would go deep into business operations, but then I started getting interested in technology and systems. But I didn't know where I fit in until I discovered data analytics. For me, the turning point happened back in 2021 during the COVID lockdown. My family and I had just returned from Nigeria, and so in Montreal, I was stuck and bored. I was like, well, I might as well take some courses, right, while I'm here. Earlier in the year, I had heard that Salesforce was now offering certification programs. Salesforce is a CRM I used back during my customer service days, and I really loved it. Always wanted to know how it worked underneath the hood. And so I looked for a place where I could take a training program. A friend of mine recommended JanBask Institute. I'll put the information in the description. They were offering a program that would that would train me to sit for the Salesforce Administrator as well as Salesforce App Builder certifications. It was going to run for about 8 to 10 weeks, I can't remember. And so I signed up, right? And I was like, sure, why not? A couple of days later, I get an email from Google that they will be releasing a course on Coursera. It was called Data Analytics Professional Certificate. It was on Coursera. I was like, Universe, what are you trying to say? And so I signed up for the reminder. The course was released in July of 2021. And I gotta tell y'all, Google did not disappoint. The first instructor on my screen was a chocolate caramel young looking man. And he was talking about SQL and Python and all the visualizations we were going to learn. And I was like, I would like to visualize you. All the other instructors were just as amazing as well. Their delivery was impeccable. Initially, I was going to sign up for like a 7-day trial, but I finished the course. The capstone project as well to close it was just beautiful. It was amazing, right? According to Coursera, it took me about 6 months at 10 hours a week to complete the course. When I completed the certification, y'all, I had no idea the impact it was going to have on my career. And so when I landed the Salesforce business analyst role, the one I told y'all that I was interviewing during in between continents, yeah, that one, I was offered $70,000 a year to start with, which was solid at that point because according to data, new Salesforce admins were getting 45 to 50,000, right? So with experience, that wasn't so bad. But it was at this job that I actually learned how to build reports and dashboards in Salesforce and Power BI. I got to really understand how data flows in and out of a data lakes. And if there was one thing I took away from that Google course, it was that proper naming conventions are everything. You would really have to take the course to get it right. But it was here that I really got to see how sales and marketing analytics really moved businesses. It was amazing. I was intrigued. Fast forward to 8 months down the line and a conversation with a recruiter. It's funny how they never reach out to you when you're jobless and available. But the moment that you have a job, everybody want to be in your DMs. Anyways, he must have just seen that I posted my recent Google certificate, right? And so he was like, hey, there's a job that I think that you might be interested in. Process and Systems Improvement Manager. And I was like, okay, tell me more. And so he goes on and on about it. And he was like, I believe that with your Salesforce business analysis skills, coupled with the recent data, I think we can ask for the top of the salary. I was like, say no more. Please submit my resume. 3 interviews later, he comes back and he's like, okay, the decision is with the VP. It's between you and another candidate. Yo, I called my mother and I was like, I told her how much salary was at stake. Trust the rabbi, she went to work. 48 hours later, he calls me back and he's like, you got the job. And I told you that they were going to offer you the top of the salary, $120,000 per year. That was a 71% boost. Now I share this because I know some of y'all are looking for a high paying, in demand career that's not going to require you going back to school for many years. And I think data analytics is such career. It doesn't require a degree, just requires the right set of skills, right? And so how do you get into this, or how much would it cost? It's totally up to you. You could pay thousands of dollars and go to university and actually get a program, a degree program in data analytics, data science. They're all being offered. Or for half the price and half the time, you could go to a boot camp and sign up. The last one I checked was about 12 weeks. They actually do teach you quickly and all of that. Or if you have enough willpower, you can get into this field for free, if not almost free. How did I do it? I started learning SQL and Python on free websites and apps. You have your W3 schools, you have your Khan Academy, you have your Udemy. I was using all of them. And then I was taking some tutorials on YouTube. I follow Alex the Analyst. He's one person that's actually always showing you how data analysts use the tools on their day-to-day, your Power BI, Tableau, Excel. He's actually pretty good. I'll put his profile in the description as well if you want to follow him. And then all of that I was doing while taking the course on Coursera. $47.50 is what I was paying a month to Coursera to take that course. And with 6 months, y'all do the math. How much did it cost, right? I'm sure some of y'all spend more than that on a month on other things. It's the most I think you would probably ever have to spend is on a good laptop, because you would need to do a lot of those mentioned visualization, Python, SQL, all of that. And then you will need data as well, because there's a lot of streaming, YouTube courses that you would take. And then electricity, that's a given, right? And then your willingness to smile. That last one is optional. So should you get into this space? Like I said, I cannot answer that question for you. But if you are curious, take free courses, a day, 2, 7 days. Try it out. See if it's something that you're interested in. Everybody's offering you free education these days, right? And then shadow a professional. If you don't have one at work, follow somebody on LinkedIn. There's so many of them on LinkedIn. And like I say, I follow some people on YouTube. Alex the Analyst. Tina Hume is another person. I'll put their profiles in the description in case you want to follow. They teach you your day-to-day. They show you the day-to-day in case you're interested, right? And then play around with these tools. They're free versions of Power BI, Excel, Tableau. If you're thinking about a project that you've always been interested in doing, use those tools. Try and see if it's something that you might be interested in working in, right? Don't just jump into it because it's a trend. Make sure problem solving, technology, analysis is something that you're interested in before you get into it, right? And who knows, this just might be the tickets to the high paying job that you've been looking for that allows you to travel and work from anywhere in the world. So, what am I doing with mine? Well, like I mentioned earlier, a friend of mine said there's a big space in oil and gas and healthcare. So I'm exploring my options and trying to see what's out there, which I can give you guys an update in the next video because I know that I will need to make a next video. This one was too short. I didn't even go into details about my other certifications. So I will let you know. If you are thinking about coming into the space and you have questions, do let me know in the comments and I will try and answer them to the best of my knowledge. And if you have taken this course before, how was your experience? If you're thinking about taking it, where are you thinking about taking it? Let me know. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on the notification so that you don't miss the next video. And as always, my friends, you have been in the moment, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.